Most budgets fail not because people aren't motivated enough to follow them, but because they're designed wrong for how humans actually make decisions. The budgets that stick aren't more detailed than the ones that fail, they're dramatically simpler. Fewer categories, fewer decisions, more automation. Here's the simplest version I've found that still produces real financial results. You've probably tried budgeting in some form. Maybe you downloaded an app or started a spreadsheet or read an article with a beautiful template, and for a week or two, you updated it faithfully. And then you didn't, because life happened and the tracking fell behind, and once it was behind you, stopped looking at it entirely. The complicated budget fails not when you don't follow it. It fails when you skip one entry. Because once you're behind on tracking, the cognitive cost of catching up is higher than starting over, so you do neither, and the budget just quietly stops. And then you feel guilty about it. Like the problem was your commitment to the system. But the system was the problem. It required more sustained effort than any realistic person maintains on top of a full life. The simple budget works differently. It doesn't require daily attention. It doesn't require logging every transaction. It requires a one-time setup and a monthly 10-minute check-in. Let me show you exactly how it works. Budgeting apps and detailed budgeting systems have a business incentive to be complex. Complexity keeps you engaged with the product, which improves retention metrics. The app needs you to log every coffee purchase to make its category breakdowns work. And those category breakdowns are what makes the app feel valuable to you as a user. But they're also what makes the system unsustainable for most people. There's a concept in behavioral economics called decision fatigue. The quality of your decisions degrades as the number of decisions you make increases. A budget that requires 30 micro-decisions per week. Did I categorize this as dining or groceries? Is spending your decision budget on categorization rather than on the actual financial choices that matter? Research on habit formation consistently shows that simpler routines have dramatically higher completion rates over time. A behavior that takes 5 minutes and 3 steps will be maintained by more people over 12 months than one that takes 20 minutes and 15 steps. This is not news to anyone who has studied behavior. And yet most budget templates are built for an ideal user who will check in daily, track every dollar, and review weekly, a standard almost no one maintains. The simple budget is built for the actual human who has a busy life, gets tired, and needs things to work with minimum friction. That's not settling, that's good design. The simple budget has 4 categories and 1 setup rule. Category 1, fixed obligations. Everything you must pay on a schedule, regardless of what else happens. Rent, mortgage, car payment, insurance, utilities, phone, debt minimums, subscriptions that are non-negotiable. Add these up. This is your fixed monthly floor, the amount that leaves your account whether you think about it or not. Category 2, savings and investment. A defined amount that moves to savings or investment accounts on payday, automatically. Not whatever's left, a defined number decided in advance, even if it's $50. Automate this transfer. Treat it like a fixed obligation. The total of your fixed obligations plus your savings transfer is your committed number. Everything else is yours to spend. Category 3, flex, spending one number. Your entire variable spending budget for the month. Groceries, dining, gas, entertainment, clothing, random purchases in one single category. Not subcategories. One number. You get that amount for the month. Track your rough position once a week on Sunday. Takes 2 minutes. Open your bank app. Look at total spending since payday. Compare to the month's flex allocation. That's it. Why 1 category instead of 15? Because as long as you stay under the total, the distribution between subcategories is irrelevant for the financial outcome. You didn't overspend on dining. You either stayed in your flex budget or you didn't. The subcategory breakdown only matters if you're specifically trying to cut a specific category for a working budget that you'll actually maintain. 1 number is enough. Category 4, goals. 1 current financial goal. Debt payoff, specific savings target, home down payment. Money flows here from any flex underspending at the end of the month or from a dedicated auto transfer if you have room. 1 goal at a time, not 5. Here's the setup process. Sit down one time, calculate your 4 categories based on your real take-home pay. Set up automatic transfers for savings and fixed obligations. Note your monthly flex number somewhere easy to reference. Time investment, 45 minutes to 90 minutes, one time. Monthly maintenance, 10 minutes on the first of the month to set the new flex number if anything changed, and your weekly 2-minute check on flex position. That's the entire system. My cousin Marco had tried and abandoned 4 budgeting apps before this. He set up the simple system on a Saturday afternoon, And as of his last update to me, he's been running it for 11 months. His savings balance has gone from $300 to $4,700. He said the key was that he never had to do the budget. It just ran. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. I've tried the one-category flex approach and I overspent every month because I didn't realize how fast it added up without tracking individual items, and that's a real failure mode. Here's the fix. Weekly Sunday check-ins are non-negotiable in this system. Not daily, weekly. You look at total flex spending for the month to date. Compare to where you should be, roughly spending a quarter of your monthly flex per week, and make one decision. Do I need to slow down this week, or am I on track? That one weekly check-in is the minimum viable version of tracking, and it catches overspending before it becomes a problem rather than after. The reason this works better than daily tracking is that you're making one decision per week instead of micro-decisions every day. One weekly decision is sustainable. Daily categorization is not, and the data supports this consistently. Remember what I said at the start. The budgets that stick aren't the most detailed, they're the most sustainable. 4 categories. Automated transfers, one weekly check-in, that's the entire system. It doesn't capture everything perfectly. It doesn't need to. It needs to produce good financial outcomes over 12 months. And it does that by being simple enough that you actually use it. If the only budget you'll maintain is a simple one, a simple budget is infinitely better than a perfect budget you quit in week 3. Start simple. You can always add complexity later. Most people who run this system find they never want to. If this helped, subscribe. I put out one of these every week and they build on each other. And if you want to go deeper on debt payoff, the strategy that actually saves the most money and interest, I linked that video right here. Watch that one next.